So, hello everyone. Today's our Tayog meeting is for the strategy and planning to get into the research. So, let's start with our first question. So, it's my first question to the number. How do you choose such research and research area that align with your academics and personal interest?
Yeah, thank you, Rishikesh. That is a good question and a very good start. I'm from an engineering background, and once you take an admission in engineering, suppose I'm from civil engineering. So we are not knowing what is there in mechanical engineering, what is there in CS, what is there in civil engineering. So once we get into that, you can have a broad picture of the engineering part, but not what is actually covered in that. So once you start going through all the core subjects and elective subjects of those engineering, once slowly and gradually you develop a interest in one of the subjects. Something very strange with me was I gave gate 2 times and I scored a very good time. The subject which I 2 times left for the gate exam, currently I'm pursuing the doctorate in that same subject. So this is something very strange in my life. But yeah, once you slowly and gradually goes along with the subject, will definitely inculcate the interest in that subject. And like the sometimes it happens, suppose in civil engineering there are 4 branches, then later on there's both those. If you select any one branch, then there are so many of broad sections in which you can pursue your doctorate or speech thing. So it depends upon that. Once you're going through the subject, once you're learning the subject, so gradually and slowly you inculcate along with how much time you're devoting to the lesson. That would also bring
Okay, nice. So, Aliva, do you have any point on this?
Yeah, hello. What's the question?
How do you choose the research area that align with your academics and personal interest?
So, to answer this question, if we are talking about research area, specifically in for a doctorate degree, I feel like before jumping into the doctorate degree, every individual should go through like a bachelor degree and master's degree, where a small projects can develop a interest in the candidate, like where he or she should go. During the master degree, for example, in MTech, like we get an opportunity to work for a year in a particular field. In that tenure, like we are able to develop some of the techniques, ideas, interest, and all. So all these things really make a factors like a good factors which can help us to decide like which research area we should choose.
Okay, nice. So nice answer. Let's come to the second question. So, what steps can be taken to network with experienced researchers and mentors in your field?
So the first thing I mentioned, like what Ali has mentioned, to work with the projects and work with the professors who are working in that domain. Once you select like I am getting more and more interested in a particular part, just talk to the professor, mail them and start working with them if they have any projects. Along with that, like many of your viewers are not from IITs, everyone can work making to IITs and on ISM member. It's obvious. So for them, it's like many professors in summer are with us and provide internship programs. Some are paid, some are free. Once you get into these universities, you can learn a lot. And you simply, it's not like we are from a like very notorious university or we are like from private university that we cannot get into or land into these IITs or IISs. But you simply drop an email. If everyone starts thinking about it, and you go and can like, so ऊपर सीधा professors को mail करना शुरू करो. Or if you get an opportunity of working with them, that can give you a very good experience. And you will generate an interest in research if you are interested. Or if you're thinking that I'm good in research, or once you get into these universities and you will not able to do that, at least the picture is clear whether you are able or your interest is there in research on that. So that is one of the ways of going. And along with that, in your own department, there might be many conferences. Get the travel grants, search for the travel grants, or talk to the professor, and you can like go to the international and national conference and talk to the different professors. And many people will come there and showcase their work. So once you see their work and understand what actually the world is doing in that particular demo, you start getting your research interest, and then you can work in there.
Okay, great. So So here we can also introduce in Tayog, we are introducing the one feature like mentorship. So as a Naman said, it's a very good way. And also for the new researchers, they can visit our website and there also they can see the opportunity in Tayog also. So there are mentorship sessions, personalized mentorship sessions. They can access to this mentorship sessions. Let's jump to the third question over. So this question for Ali. What strategies should the student or early career researcher adopt to secure research funding or scholarship?
In any kind of scholarship, like if a student is planning to do his or her PhD in India, like they have to go for the examinations like GATE, NET, and all. And if in case like a student is planning to go for a PhD degree in abroad, so there are other factors like the examinations like TOEFL, GRE, and all. It so these kind of examinations are the basic prerequisites. Apart from that, like the students have to pay attention for developing the skills, the techniques. Like if I take my example, like I am from material science background. If a master's student is experienced in dealing with the material synthesis or the characterizations or handling the instruments, sophisticated instruments like XRD, Raman spectroscopy and all. So these are the major skill set which any of the institutions within India or abroad will be looking for it. And if you talk about the document wise, obviously there are like a list of documents. Like the candidate should be able to prepare their SOPs, the research proposals. They have to get connected with their professors and get a letter of recommendations. So these are all the document list which they have to start thinking almost a year or like 2 years early. Like suppose if you are planning to do PhD while entering into the masters, you have to take these steps from day one. You can't think like, okay, I will finish my master degree and then I will plan for the PhD, because all this kind of process usually go very slowly, and the examination, the deadlines of the the university deadlines are also almost like a 6 month or a year ahead of their time. So if you are planning to do your PhD in 2026, I feel like you have to get into all these kind of examinations and get the documents ready right from 2024. Because even in US, no one can say like when you started your journey. I'm definitely sure like at least it takes a year for a person to travel to get the scholarship and get their education on time. Like, right? Am I right, Naman?
Yeah.
It usually takes almost a year, 1.5 year, or almost 2 years.
Naman, do you have any point on this?
Like, we're not much focus on the research papers, because nowadays I'm seeing that many of the research papers are published, but they're English notes, not good information is there. So people are more focusing on quantity instead of quality. So don't focus much on the research paper, but if you are focusing on a project you are working with under the professor, with the professor, focus on that. If any the skills course of yours, like if you are good in machine learning, deep learning, currently, so and like other parts, if you are developing these skills in yours, and once you are giving the interview to the professor and whom you will be going to work with, definitely he will hire you if he has something to take, or should I say, use of those skills he have, and he will definitely also be with the good funding and scholarships. It is very important. At least in US, I can say that. And even in like India, if you're going for like interviews for PhD, so first of all they will ask like what are their favorite subjects they were on these things. But slowly and gradually they will come up with the questions: what skills do you have? Because they have nothing to do with the course of if you're getting 10 CGPA in the world with very good university, and you don't have any skills, then they're sorry, maybe you are of bones. Also, degree completion, everyone is doing what is unique in you, the respect for others, but how you are displayed, the respect for others in that way. I think these things should be taken into consideration, and once you are good in skills, you definitely get a quick and more education.
Okay, nice. So let's come to the next question. So what are the common challenges faced while starting a research career, and how can they be overcome?
The first thing I mentioned is you should be ready for the rejections. Suppose you are applying for a sponsored master's or PhD degree in US, suppose in case I'm talking about if I want to go to abroad and pursue your degrees, that to a sponsor, you should be ready for rejections. If I'm meeting 10 professor, 20 professor, obviously not everyone will have the positions currently. If they have the position, they will take your interview. If you are skilled in everything, satisfy the requirements of the project under which you will be hired, then they will hire you. Otherwise, okay, that's fine. If you are rejected, no problem. Even APJ Abdul Kalam was like rejected. Later on, he became the president of the country and missile man of India. So everyone knows his story, right? Along with that, the time management and the course of handling of the course. So in India, if I talk about, I was in ISC completing my graduated from there, completed my master's. I've seen like in the initial first or second year of the PhD, many people are doing their only coursework. From third year, they start with the research, generating the research interest, what should be the objective of their PhD, what should be the title of the PhD, in which area their PhD should focus on. So from third year, these things are taken into consideration. But in US, it's something like research and coursework. Everything goes in parallel. So you have to do everything in parallel, and you have to maintain the balance between the doing the coursework. You have to maintain the CGPA to continue with your scholarship and the time management of somebody like publishing a research paper and all. Because here it's so expensive that the professor will definitely give you the degree in 4.5 years, but you have to work very hard on it. The second thing is to personal research projects. If you are like working along with the teams, you are working with your professor along with some any other project, then you have to focus on both the things. So that thing also taken into consideration. And like you should never like underestimate yourself. Many people I've seen like they are doing very good research, very good in like machine level, that with writing a code extremely good. Even at Name can understand what their code sees. So, but they are underestimating yourself. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, if you don't have confidence in your research, no one is there to listen to you. You know, if you are showcasing your work in a very proper way, everyone will come and listen to you. If you are अगर मेरी सर्च दे अगर तुमने तैनेट अपने हथियार डाल दिए कि भाई मेरे को कुछ चाहिए है कोई बात नहीं बैठे तुम्हारे कान में संभव तो बोलेगा इसको आंसर पहले ही इसको अपने अपने सर पे कर देगी मुझे कुछ हुआ है तुम नहीं कर सुनने तो वो चीज़ भी नहीं बनी at least I really appreciate it and can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you. So the question was common challenges faced while starting a research career and how they can be overcome. So as Naman mentioned, that we should be ready for the rejection, and the rejection not only during the application part, but I feel like whatever you go with your ideas. Suppose you got the position, now you have done your coursework. Whenever you go and talk with your professor, always be ready that the idea is not going to be the best idea. There will be always flaws and ups and downs. तो प्रोफेसर हमेशा ही कोशिश करेगा कि थोड़ा मोटिवेट करेगा, बट हमेशा रेडी रहना पड़ेगा कि वो डिमोटिवेट करेगा कि नहीं ये आइडिया अच्छा नहीं है, ख़राब है, या कुछ और सोचो, कुछ नया सोचो, कुछ बड़ा सोचो. सो आई फील लाइक ये सब चीज़ों के लिए हम लोग को रेडी रहना चाहिए. एंड ऑब्वियसली कोर्स वर्क जैसे कि नमन ने बताया कि like in the US it goes by side, but I feel like in India also now it is going in the same way, like right from the first day only, like we take some of the coursework and we give the other time to our lab work. So during the first चीज़ के अलावा भी मतलब कि the behavior of guide, like ये बहुत ही, और पहले भी हम लोगों ने डिस्कस कर रखा है कि गाइड का behavior कितना important है. So it is going to overall affect our mentality, the environment and all. Because most of the time we will be spending in lab. गाइड का ही शक्ल देखना है और लैब वालों का ही शक्ल देखना है, तो लैब वाले कितने अच्छे हैं, कितने कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हैं, ये भी बहुत ज़्यादा कहीं ना कहीं बड़ा फैक्टर लगता है. अब इसको ओवरकम करने का क्या तरीका हो सकता है? लाइक सबसे पहले तो अगर हम किसी प्रॉब्लम के लिए, अगर वो प्रॉब्लम हमें पता रहेगा कि यस दिस इज़ गोइंग टू कम, सो हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं एक तरीके से मेंटली तैयार हो सकते हैं कि चलो ये आज ना कल होना था, ये इस तरह का प्रॉब्लम आएगा. तो हम लोग कहीं ना कहीं फर्स्ट स्टेप यही होगा कि हमें ये मान के चलना है कि आएगा, तो ये हम मेंटली तैयार रहना है. सेकेंड स्टेप ये हो सकता है कि अगर हम मेंटली तैयार हो रहे तो उसके बाद थोड़ी ये सोचेंगे ओके हाउ वी कैन लाइक रिड्यूस दिस काइंड ऑफ चैलेंजेस आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी कम्प्लीटली सॉल्व, क्योंकि पीएचडी का जर्नी ऐसा नहीं होता है कि नेक्स्ट फ्रॉम पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी ऐसे स्ट्रेट लाइन जा रहा है। बहुत सारे ऐसे कर्व्स, बहुत सारे टर्न्स आने वाले हैं, बहुत सारे रिवर्स गियर लगेंगे, बहुत सारे फ्रंट गियर पे आपका गाड़ी चलेगा। तो हमेशा हम लोग को रेडी रहना पड़ेगा। वी हैव टू कम विद सम बेटर आइडियाज़ एंड ऑलवेज बी डिस्कसिंग विद द प्रोफेसर। हमेशा अपना सेशन कम से कम लैब वालों को दिखाते रहो। इवन ड्यूरिंग द कोर्स वर्क ऑल्सो समटाइम्स आई हैव सीन द स्टेन एंड द फोर्स वर्क, वो लैब ही नहीं जाते हैं फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर में। तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि प्रोफेसर तो यार ये तो आ ही नहीं रहा है, इसको कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है। तो इस तरह के चैलेंजेस बहुत सारा मतलब वो आ जाता है स्टार्टिंग में, वेयर अ प्रोफेसर विल स्टार्ट और थिंकिंग that there is very less interest from your side. So even if you are packed with the complete coursework, and at least
Tayog is providing a good platform. If suppose I have some water resource background, I work in hydrology, its prediction of stream flows and flood, and on working on climate change, right? So if something is there with me, what you are interested in, I can give you a good thought in that. But that doesn't mean to do. But on LinkedIn, on Tayog, you have to keep a good touch with you or with anyone else who is working in the similar domain as compared with respect to your areas interest. If you're thinking like ऐसे बहुत मिलते हैं और वैसे बहुत आते हैं, but definitely I can tell you कि बहुत आते हैं but बहुतों पे टाइम नहीं होता है ना उनका बात करने का तरीका ठीक हो। कुछ लोग प्लेटफॉर्म लेने के बाद काफ़ी अच्छा उनको एटीट्यूड एरोगेंस आ जाता है, बट हर कोई नहीं बताएगी। आईआईटी अच्छे से क्लियर करने वाला कभी नहीं बताएगा कि आईआईटी में कैसे क्लियर होते हैं। हाई गेट अच्छे से रैंक लेने वाला कभी नहीं बताएगा कि गेट पे रैंक अच्छे से कैसे आती। तुम इंटरव्यू देखना हो यही बताएंगे मैं 10 मिनट पढ़ता था, मैं आधा घंटा पढ़ता था, मम्मी मेरे बैठती रहती है सुबह से वक्त नहीं पढ़िए मैं नहीं समझाऊँ। जो आईआईटी में फेल हुए वही बताया था, जो यूपीएससी में फेल हुए वही बताया था कैसे यूपीएससी क्लियर हो। फिर ये वो खुद नहीं कर पाए कि वो उसमें क्या गलती करी वो आपको बता देगा। तो दैट इज़ अ मेजर पॉइंट। सो यू हैव टू कीप द टच विद दोस पीपल।
मैं कुछ ऐड करना चाहूँगा, जैसे कि पहला क्वेश्चन और फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन थोड़ा बहुत कनेक्टेड है। जब मैंने बोला ना कि लाइक अंडर ग्रेड्स या मास्टर्स स्टूडेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स करते हैं, उसके साथ साथ छोटे मोटे कॉन्फ्रेंसेस भी होता है, लाइक इंटरनेशनल एंड नेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस। सो कॉन्फ्रेंसेस आर ऑल्सो बेस्ट प्लेस वेयर वी कैन फाइंड डिफरेंट वेराइटी ऑफ पीपल, अलग अलग रिसर्च डोमेन्स में काम कर रहे हैं। तो वहाँ से भी हमारा इंटरेस्ट स्टार्ट होता है। एंड ऑब्वियसली इंटरनेट पे बहुत सारे ऐसे वेबसाइट्स है लाइक तयोग, रिसर्च गेट एंड लिंक्डइन, जहाँ पे अलग अलग चीज़ें मतलब रिसर्च से रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन डालते रहते हैं, पोजीशंस के वगैरह में डालते रहते हैं। सो या थ्रू दैट ऑल्सो लाइक वी कैन जनरेट आवर रिसर्च इंटरेस्ट एंड बी कनेक्टेड विद द पीपल। और इवन आई हैव सीन लाइक व्हाइल राइटिंग द एसओपीज एंड ऑल, या फिर रिसर्च प्रपोजल या इवन कवर लेटर भी जब ऑफन लोग लिखते हैं, समटाइम्स इफ यू आर राइटिंग लाइक पर्सनल किसी प्रोफेसर XYZ को अगर हम मेल कर रहे हैं, सो इफ यू ट्राई टू डिस्क्राइब दैट ओके इन दिस कॉन्फ्रेंस वी मेट एंड लाइक वी टॉक फॉर सम टाइम, इवन आप मेल के कंटेंट पे भी ये चीज़ लिखते हो, आई फील लाइक वो कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि इम्प्रेसिव लगता है। सामने वाला प्रोफेसर को भी लगेगा कि हाँ इसने मेरा टॉक सुना था, पढ़ा था। एंड इवन दो अगर सुना भी नहीं होगा, वो गूगल स्कॉलर से पेपर्स देख सकता है या कॉन्फ्रेंस प्रोसीडिंग्स पे एब्स्ट्रैक्ट वगैरह देख सकता है, एक आइडिया ले सकता है एंड अगेन वो डिस्कशन स्टार्ट हो सकता है। सो माँ फिर आगे यही बात है कि आपके स्किल्स पे बहुत काम करना पड़ेगा। नमन ने बोला था कि ऑब्वियसली रिसर्च पेपर इज़ नॉट दैट इम्पॉर्टेंट, स्किल इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट ये बड़े बड़े रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशंस एंड प्लेसेस लाइक US एंड ऑल, ये वहाँ पे सच में काम आता है। बट आई फील लाइक इंडिया में अब जो नया कल्चर डेवलप हो रहा है, यहाँ पे भी इवन द अंडर ग्रेड्स एंड द मास्टर्स स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑल्सो फोकसिंग, बिकॉज द रिसर्च पेपर इज नॉट दैट इम्पॉर्टेंट, आई एग्री, बट वॉट एवर द रिसर्च यू आर डूइंग इसका वैलिडेशन कौन कर रहा है। सपोज इफ़ यू आर डूइंग एनी काइंड ऑफ रिसर्च, वो कहीं ना कहीं एक छोटे मोटे जर्नल 2-4 इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर के जर्नल में भी पब्लिश हो रहा है। इट डजेंट मैटर आप फर्स्ट ऑथर हो